So I just I need to get around to starting my videos of how did we get here, homie, with Mrs. A. But I guess this could be my first episode in bed with one of my kids. But this is going with what's going on now in the United States with the whole ending diversity, equity, and inclusion, and also the massive ICE raids and deportation. See, here's one of the many conundrums I have. How the is it that not only did Great Britain and even America, which is his child, okay? It's his America is Great Britain's child. So I find it interesting because I'm watching the show Heist, and one of the people there is from Cuba, and he's talking about how he was sold the American dream and how that there are just no ways of making it within Cuba. No matter how much you work, how hard you work, for how long you work, you just will never get anything. And if we realize that, that's almost the entire world, except for the ultra wealthy. Almost everybody else is working their butts off and still can't seem to get their dream. But here's a conundrum that I have with people screaming, go back to your country, and DEI hires and send back the illegals. For one, Europeans, you do not belong here. African Americans, well, historically, we've been here. But you're not native. You are not. You were not goddamn native. In fact, it was a man who couldn't even sell for his own city-states. He couldn't get picked by one of his city-states to sell, to find a shorter route to India. And yet, y'all still don't use spices. Like, it's all over TikTok. You still don't use an ounce of salt, let alone an ounce of pepper. But literally, you and your ancestors went into other parts of the world and stole from them because your home worlds were so bland and cold that you had no resources. Okay? But not only did you go into places such as Africa, Asia, and Latin America, you stole from one of their natural resources. And when I say natural resources, I mean people, land, and agriculture. And also minerals, what is provided through that earth. You went into these areas that were perfectly fine by themselves. You stole these things from them, including using disease and enslavement to kill them off. And then you turned around and put in not only historical, but cultural, societal, and legal ways to keep these people inferior and keep a way for you to continuously steal from them over and over and over again. And then you put people in place who reiterated this whole Europeans or white people are better than everybody else and more superior. Then you took back all these wonderful resources. In China, y'all were funny. Y'all were funny when you made the motherfuckers come up there with goddamn silver. Potosi. But y'all made them come up there with silver. And that's why they had to bring in drugs, because they was mad because you called them backwater. But anyway. But you stole all these things. Then you put your people in place. And not only when you put your people in place, did you put in media that showed not only Europeans as better, their way of life is better, and then having more opportunities within your media. America has sold the same thing. The American dream has been going on for a long time now. People have bought into the American dream. You get here, you work your ass off, okay? You save, you scrounge, you don't go home to your kids. You deal with less than in order to be able to buy that Lexus that's on the TV. You work your ass off and you're not here for your kids in order to provide a roof over a house that the property taxes have gone up on over and over and over again, while your pay has not gone up on. But literally, America and Great Britain, y'all the main perpetrators. I ain't cutting out nobody else from the Berlin Conference of the 1880s that divided up Africa. I'm not. I'm not forgetting them, but I'm talking about, because we're in America, we're Great Britain's child. But you guys have literally gone in, and not only did you put in place and steal from them from 1492 until now, you also destabilize their governments over and over again. Do you remember Patrice Lumumba? You've gone into Latin America several times and killed off their democratically elected officials and leaders. Maduro is still in power in Venezuela. Literally, there was an election about 10 years ago, and there was a Juan fellow that won the election. And America recognized Juan and not Maduro as the president of Venezuela. And yet, who just went up for another re-election? It was Maduro. Nobody else. He's still in power. Operation Iraqi Freedom, weapons of mass destruction, connection to 9/11. None ever found in Iraq. But Operation Desert Storm put Saddam Hussein in power. But literally, you've gone to these countries, you've stolen their resources, while also forcing them to assimilate to be more like you all. Because if they're not more like white people, then they're wrong and they're inferior, even though you still don't accept them because they don't look white. And they use media to support this falsified superiority. And you wonder why people want to come here? Are you goddamn kidding me? Y'all are literally the people that used to live with the Northwest who had not a goddamn curtain on the front window. What the fuck is that? Why do you not have curtains in your white ass front window that is pretty much eye level with the street for any adult? I'm confused. I go home to people in $1 million houses, and the windows, there was not a fucking curtain. Okay? You can see everything in a house, and I'd be sitting there like, so you're just advertising, come rob my house? You're advertising, come rob my house. You're putting out the inventory of what people can steal from your house on display, trying to be an asshole, saying you got more money than them so you can display your shit, not think ain't nobody gonna break in and steal your shit. I don't get it. Like, you literally put the carrot out there, and then you get mad when people want to take it. You get upset and tell people to go back to their countries and they're illegal and criminals. Could you please look up the fact that Australia was a penal colony? Could you please look up the fact that the state of Maryland itself was also a refugee, and also, I'm sorry, for one, was a refugee for Catholics coming from England, which was Protestant at the time. And then on top of that, also we're Britain citizens convicts. But literally, y'all created the American dream. You created this way of greatness in life in Great Britain. And y'all are mad that the people who you stole resources from and continue to steal resources from, who don't have the ability to move up in some ranks in their own homeland, you're mad that you sold them a dream of betterness that you won't allow them to have. And you're mad that they actually took you up on the offer after you fucked up what they could have had at home. So you're mad at some of y'all ancestors did the goddamn same thing, sweetheart. Some of your ancestors got sold a dream too. That's why you got here. Please look in the goddamn mirror. Please. They're doing the exact same thing your ancestors did. Why are you mad?